Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to this evening's live coverage on Play On Sports Network of tonight's Division I Girls Basketball Championship in the Sac-Joaquin section. I'm Neil Martin on play-by-play, here with my analyst, Lucas Carlson, and we have a great game in store for you tonight. Two teams with a lot of good history in the finals, the Kennedy Cougars, the hometown team from the Sacramento area, and the Oak Ridge Trojans here from El Dorado Hills, matching up in the finals. Kennedy, the number 4 seed, Oak Ridge, the number 6 seed. This is the only championship we've had this weekend that has not had a number 1 seed involved. And these two teams have some history, Lucas. Kennedy and Oak Ridge played each other 2 years ago in this final, where Oak Ridge won and then went on to win a state championship at the Division I level. So both teams, storied programs, get a lot of wins, consistently make a lot of noise when it comes to girls basketball, and there's no reason to believe tonight shouldn't be another great game.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, both teams look pretty even on paper. So, I mean, really, but games aren't played on paper. So it's really going to be about who comes out and executes better and runs their plays well.
Absolutely, and these two teams have contrasting styles in terms of the way they play. Oak Ridge is a very fast-paced team. They're going to try and control the tempo and beat teams by getting up and down the court quickly and tiring you out, whereas Kennedy will try and slow the tempo down, play smart offense. They're a much less quick team, but they're no less good. Both of these teams have played very well this season. Kennedy comes in with a record of 22-8. Oak Ridge comes in with a record of 23-7. And tonight, as you said, these teams different in terms of their styles, but very equally matched, and you have starters for us.
Yes, I do, Neil. All right, starting for the Kennedy Cougars, we have the senior guard, Lori Wong, who is number 3. Number 4, Amela Greer, who's also a senior, is starting at the forward position. Number 15, Mele Koloki Hakao Fisi, who's also a senior, will be playing at a forward position also. Number 20, Jessica Lauderdale, who's a sophomore, is starting, which is a very rare sight to see. She will be starting at the guard position. And Lynette Johnson, number 24, who is a junior, will be starting at a forward position. So no center here for Kennedy Cougars. Now for the Oak Ridge Trojans. Starting at guard for number 15, Jen Hoffman, who is a sophomore also. They have a sophomore starting, which is rare. So both teams who made it to the final have sophomores starting. Jenna Klein, number 25, who's a senior guard, she'll be starting as well as number 33, Katie Hoisington, who's a senior as well, and she'll be a forward. And number 34, Lauren Sendy, who's a senior, will also be a forward. And number 43, Haley Anderson, who's a junior, rounds it out for the Oak Ridge Trojans, and she'll be playing at a guard position.
Getting back to Kennedy's lineup, you mentioned Lynette Johnson. She's our player to watch tonight. During the regular season for the Kennedy Cougars, she averaged 19.5 points per game and 7.7 rebounds per game. So a very good player, plays at a high level, has been getting looked at by some colleges, and will potentially be a top performer at the next level. Both these teams took fairly difficult roads to get here. As we mentioned, Kennedy, the number 4 seed, Oak Ridge, the number 6 seed. So neither team extremely highly seeded. The Kennedy Cougars had to go through the number 1 seed, Pleasant Grove, in the semifinal round and won that game by a slim 4-point margin, 52-48. And the Oak Ridge Trojans had to beat the number 2 and the number 3 seed to get to this championship game. All right, both teams starting 5 on the court. Getting set for tip-off just a few moments away. Oak Ridge wins the tip-off and will get the ball to start the game. Good ball movement here around the outside. Number 43 tries to pass it inside, and an early turnover. Kennedy Cougars going to try to control the pace here early.
Kennedy had a nice job of seeing where the ball was going and having some good mental presence there.
And another turnover, 2 turnovers here early, maybe a little bit of early game jitters for both of these teams. Inside pass. Trojans trying to get into the paint here early, but again, almost turned the ball over. They get it back, though, and driving is number 43 for the Trojans. Or that is number 43 for the Trojans, Haley Anderson, who draws. Ooh, she's actually called for the foul. So it will be the Kennedy Cougars ball once again. Another turnover here early. Trojans doing an excellent job of setting the trap right there. They'll get the ball back. That's just good defense right there, Lucas.
Yeah, and in talking to Coach White before the game, he told us that their team doesn't play, they play an ugly style of ball as they like to control the tempo, and sometimes that doesn't always work as they try to, play their way, and it doesn't always work, but I mean, they get the job done as we've seen. They're here in the championship. They've done a pretty good job of playing ball their way.
Haley Anderson just drove into the paint there. The junior guard picked up the foul and will go to the line shooting 2. So a chance to put the first points of the game on the board for the Trojans. Misses the first attempt, though. Getting ready to take the second attempt is Anderson. Makes the her second attempt, so Oak Ridge will draw first blood in this Division I championship game. Lucas, we've seen a lot of turnovers here early and a couple of easy shots that have been missed. Do you think that maybe both teams are coming out here a little bit nervous?
Yeah, and that's to be expected as both teams were not in the championship last year, and this is the Division I final, so, I mean, a lot of stuff is on the line. They're trying to get that home game in the regionals. And, of course there's going to be early game jitters, and I think that'll settle down as the game goes on.
Kennedy Cougars with the ball. Lori Wong passes it to number 15, Malay Koloki Haka Ufisi. That is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Kennedy Cougars pass the ball inside, trying to get a teardrop shot in the paint, but do not get it to go. And number 25 for the Oak Ridge Trojans, Jenna Klein, gets the board. Missed three-pointer by number 15, Jen Hoffman for the Trojans. Cougars trying to find any open shot, have not had many easy shots here early. Number 24, though, for the Cougars, Lynette Johnson, who we mentioned earlier, the leading scorer for the Cougars in the regular season, gets Kennedy's first points, and then a turnover by the Trojans' Haley Anderson, so the ball goes right back to the Cougars.
Yeah, and Kennedy's full court pressure there, I think, forced that errant passes. What we've been seeing is a main theme through most of the games here that have been played so far at Power Balance Pavilion. That there's a lot of defenses that are very good here, and it's been causing a lot of errant passes because they're getting the pressure on and getting traps and stuff, and they have to throw those long court passes, and as a result, it's errant.
Long inbound pass from number 43 to Jenna Klein, who gets the easy layup to put Oak Ridge back in the lead here early. 5:29 left to play in the first quarter.
And that was a great job there by Jenna Klein to throw off her defender. Her defender had jumped, and she paused for a second, then went up, and her defender was coming back down as she was going up. Great offensive play.
Trojans with the ball now. And a foul called on the Oak Ridge Trojans. It will be the Kennedy Cougars ball, number 3, Lori Wong, to inbound. Foul on number 43, Haley Anderson. That's her first of the contest. Looks like maybe a foul there on the Trojans. Foul's called on number 33, Katie Hosington. That will be her second. 2 fouls early for the starter for the Trojans. Don't want to get her in foul trouble early. Ball tipped out of bounds by the Cougars. Ball will stay with the Trojans.
Yeah, and even though that ball went out of bounds off Kennedy, Kennedy's defense is playing really tight. Oak Ridge doesn't have a lot of room for error.
Haley Anderson to inbound. Inbounds to number 34, Lauren Cindy, who gets a nice pull-up jumper for 2 to put the Trojans up by 3 here early. And another turnover here by the Kennedy Cougars, a reoccurring theme here in the first part of this first quarter. And the Trojans looking to put themselves up by 2 possessions for the first time this game. Moving the ball around the perimeter. Number 15, Jen Hall, layup. So the Trojans up by 5 points in 2 possessions for the first time in this contest.
That was a beautiful play by Jen Hoffman there to take it to the rim. And even if she didn't make that, she probably would have been fouled. So, I mean, that's really what these teams here need to be doing, is take it to the rim and trying to be drawing that foul.
And like you just said, Lucas, the Cougars trying to take it to the rim, but the Trojans, number 34, Lauren Cindy, playing excellent defense in the key, getting in the way of any Cougar player that tries to penetrate to the paint, which was Jessica Lauderdale's attempt there that did not go in. So it'll be Oak Ridge ball once again.
Well, what I'm seeing, Neil, is that Kennedy has a sizable height disadvantage. I mean, everybody on Oak Ridge seems taller than the Kennedy players. They're a pretty short team, so they're really going to need to use their speed as a weapon to overcome that height disadvantage.
Moving the ball around the perimeter once again. Kennedy Cougars, number 24, driving inside, and Lynette Johnson not able to make the layup attempt on that play. And Oak Ridge goes right back down the court. Number 10, Jackie Bateman for the Oak Ridge Trojans. Tried to get the ball back outside to number 25, Jenna Klein there on that play, but steps on the out-of-bounds line in the process of doing so, so it will be Kennedy Cougars ball once again. 3:05 left to play here in the first quarter. Pretty low-scoring game here early on, Lucas.
Yeah, and that's the way it's been with most of these games. I mean, most teams come in nervous because, I mean, this is a huge stage. But, I mean, most games have been, there's a lot more scoring in the second, third, and fourth quarters.
Lynette Johnson with the rebound after a missed shot attempt by number 34 for the Trojans, Lauren Cindy. Swings it outside to number 20, Jessica Lauderdale. Lauderdale swings it to Katie Lee. Moving the ball around the perimeter, trying to find a hole to drive. Johnson does just that. Not able to complete the basket, though, but the Cougars able to maintain possession. Nice effort there. Johnson from outside, way over the back of the hoop. Will be out of bounds, and the Trojans ball.
That was nice defense by Oak Ridge. She had a nice step back there onto the three, or behind the 3 arc, so that she could shoot a 3, but the Oak Ridge defender was right there, and as a result, she just had to huck it up.
Timeout taken by Kennedy head coach Dave Parsh here, and we will take one really quickly as well here from Play On Sports Network.
You can watch highlights or a replay of today's game in our on-demand section, and you can also buy a DVD or Blu-ray of today's game right on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. Click on Buy DVD, and you can order today's game right now. Have a game that lasts a lifetime. Brought to you by CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. That's CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv.
Thank you, Lucas. We're back with you here at Power Balance Pavilion, where Oak Ridge leads Kennedy by 5 here early on. 2:04 here to play in the first quarter. Been a relatively clean contest here so far. Only 3 fouls total, 2 for Kennedy and 1 for Oak Ridge. We've also been seeing a bit of nerves, as you've mentioned a couple times, Lucas. Not a whole lot of made shots. Both teams shooting a relatively low field goal percentage right now.
Yeah, and also the foul count is mainly a result of the team. Oak Ridge and Kennedy are both not really attacking the rim. They're taking more outside perimeter shots, and I think that also contributes to the low field goal percentage.
Which is interesting because both teams, known for their physicality in the paint, maybe trying a different game plan because of the game they're in, playing in the championship, trying to switch things up to maybe trick the other team into playing differently than they've seen them play on film. Offensive foul called on Christina Zaghi of the Trojans. That will be Oak Ridge's third team foul. And it will be Kennedy ball as a result. Number 15 controls the ball for the Cougars. Passes it to Lauderdale. Excuse me, that's Lee. To Jessica Lauderdale. Back out to Lee. To Johnson, inside to Erica Foster, who loses the handle. Fast break attempt here for the Oak Ridge Trojans. Number 15, Jen Hoffman, tried to get the layup there, but is called for traveling. It'll be Cougars ball.
Yeah, she tried to get that hop step, but both her feet came off the ground, and as a result, she got the traveling call. But Kennedy really needs a basket here, and I think they need to get it to number 24, Lynette Johnson, their playmaker.
Like you said, Lynette Johnson just missed that attempt and then missed another after getting her own rebound. She's looked a little shaky here to begin with, normally so solid. Like we mentioned, 19.5 points per game has been her average throughout this season.
Yeah, but then again, Neil, it is early in the game, and she's the only one who scored on her team.
That's true. Kennedy with only 2 points. A low-scoring affair here early on from Power Balance Pavilion. 30 seconds left here in the first quarter. Lee to Johnson.
However,
Lee tries to set the screen.
Kennedy should be happy that they're only down by 5 with the way they're shooting the ball.
Well, they haven't had a whole lot of open attempts. You got to give Oak Ridge some credit. They've been playing excellent defense, able to block a couple shots and just congest the paint so that Kennedy cannot execute their game plan, which involves getting the ball inside the key to try and get some easy layups.
Yeah, both teams are playing stellar defense right now, and that's why we only have 9 points combined from both teams here with just over 5 seconds left.
And
in
Cougars
the first quarter.
will get the last shot attempt. Katie Lee to take.
Oh, wow.
Nearly gets it, but it's off the front iron, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Oak Ridge leads by 5, 7-2 over the Kennedy Cougars. And we will take a quick break before bringing you the start of the second quarter here from Play On Sports Network.
Looking for a great place to advertise your business while reaching the greater high school community? Then you want to advertise on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. We have great rates for your business while giving you the opportunity to get your message out to a very important demographic. For more information, give us a call at 619-677-3246. Want to have your game broadcast live on the internet and be able to watch it again and again on demand while making money for your sports program? Want to give your students the opportunity to create their own broadcast for your school's athletic events? Then contact us at info@kbcsports.com. We offer season packages for schools, a full curriculum for your students, and an opportunity to raise up to $10,000 for your sports program. Again, that's info@kbcsports.com or call us at 619-677-3246.
That was my partner, Lucas Carlson. And Lucas, like we've mentioned a couple times, low-scoring affair here early. We've seen a lot of the early game jitters that we expect here in championship games, but I have to admit I'm a little surprised. We have 2 veteran coaches and 2 teams that have been playing at this stage several times in the past. What do you think the issue has been, and what do you think the head coaches just told their players to try and calm them down to prepare them for the second quarter?
Well, I think that both defenses are playing really well right now, and that's why both teams are not getting very good looks, but I mean, also, I think they just need to calm their nerves, and really half of this is mental right now, and I think that's what the coaches are telling them is to, get it out of your head. You're here, you belong here, now play like it.
Well, that pep talk must have worked for the sophomore guard, Jen Hoffman, who just hit her first three-pointer of the game. Nice shot there from Hoffman. Foul now called on number 5 of the Cougars, Erica Foster. So number 20 for the Kennedy Cougars, Jessica Lauderdale, will go to the line, shooting 2.
And, you know, I think that's really the problem with both these teams right now is that, I mean, I've talked to many people, and they've all told me this, that the main problem with teams that get to this far is feeling like they belong there. And I think both teams right now are struggling, you know, believing that. And that's what they need to get in their heads, that they deserve to be here because they've played at an elevated level, and that's why they're here. So now they need to think that and play like that.
Absolutely, and we'll see if that mentality comes to pass here as the second quarter progresses. Second attempt missed by Erica Foster for the Cougars. Number 43, Haley Anderson, gets the rebound for the Trojans and is currently controlling the ball and now turns it over. Ball scrambling around the court. And the Cougars, quick shot attempt by Mele Kolohikaka Afusi, and she gets a nice pull-up jump shot. That was a long two-pointer to cut the lead to 5 for the Trojans. Nice, easy layup attempt there for Haley Anderson for her first 2 points of the ball game and to put the Trojans back up by 7. One thing I've been noticing is that the Trojans have been doing a lot better job of being aggressive on defense and then on offense controlling the tempo and setting the speed of the game that they want.
Yeah, and that's how they play, and I guess that's why they're here, is that's been working for them. You know, Steve White, the coach, said that, you know, sometimes it doesn't always work and it ends up horribly, but they've just been stringing along quite a bit of wins here, and as a result, they're here.
Trojans ball. Jackie Bateman will inbound for the Trojans. Jen Hoffman controlling for the Trojans. Look for the Trojans to maybe get an outside look here. They haven't taken a three-point shot in a long time. And as we say that, an offensive foul called on number 25 for the Trojans, Jenna Klein. That's her first and the team's 5th foul this half.
Well, I think the Oak Ridge is realizing that they're not hitting their threes, and it's not a high percentage shot, so they just need to get back to the basics and start working it inside until they start cheating inside, then opening up those 3 looks.
Well, and like you mentioned, they have the big height advantage, so maybe that's part of their game plan is to try and take as much of an advantage as possible by using their height in the paint to get those easy 2-pointers.
Exactly.
Long 3 attempts by number 33, Katie Lee for the Kennedy Cougars, and just drills it, so that cuts the lead to 4.
Was that a pro 3?
That was a pro 3. That was from NBA distance.
We've seen a couple of those here so far.
Lots of excellent individual performances here on championship weekend. Number 15. There we see another one, Jen Hoffman, now with 10 points. She has 2/3 of the Oak Ridge Trojans' 15 points here early on, drilling a 3 of her own there, and that was an excellent answering shot there by Hoffman for the Trojans. Lee with the control for the Cougars. 5:14 left to play here in the second quarter. Trojans still up by 7. 7 on the shot clock. Cougars need to get a shot off quick here. And number 21 for the Cougars, Erica Ng, misses the shot attempt, and a foul is going to be called on number 10, Jamie Fong. That's her first foul of the contest. So it will be the Trojans' ball once again.
And I think Oak Ridge's offense is very deadly right now. As what you just saw was they hit that 3, and I think that's because Kennedy's starting to cheat inside because Oak Ridge is starting to move inside, and now it's opening up their 3 shots. So Oak Ridge is pretty much saying, okay, pick your poison.
They're definitely adjusting their game plan as the game goes along, and that's a sign of good coaching as well as just a good offensive game plan. Johnson on the inside takes a short jumper. No good. Number 10, Jackie Bateman with the rebound. Driving inside is Lauren Cindy for the Trojans. Long two-pointer, but she nails it there. Trojans 1 point away from being up by double digits here in the second quarter. Trying to set the trap are the Trojans. Errant pass there by number 15, Mele Kolo Kihafa Afusi. And there will be 10 seconds left on the shot clock with 4 minutes left here in the second quarter for the Cougars. So they're going to need to get a quick shot attempt off. Lucas, you're our coach right now. What play do you want your players to run here?
Well, I want them to run either that, which they just did, was get a quick pass into under the basket and try to just get the shot up, or kick the ball out and get a quick screen outside the arc and just shoot that three.
They'll get another chance to do so here. They lose 2 more seconds off the shot clock, though, so 8 seconds. Number 3 for the Cougars, Wong is going to have to take that shot. Long three, and it is an air ball, so there will be a shot clock violation, and it will be the Trojans' ball. Anderson to inbound. Cougars playing full court press now.
And I think that's a good call by Kennedy, is they need to find some way to create a turnover for this deadly Oak Ridge offense.
Haley Anderson misses the long three attempt. Rebound by number 24, Lynette Johnson. Is driving inside and gets the long jumper from the charity stripe.
And that's exactly what Kennedy needs to do. They need to run their offense through Lynette Johnson, who is their go-to person.
Only her first 2 points of the game. Excuse me, she has 4 points in this game so far. 15 points under her season average. Long three from Lori Wong, no good. Rebound, Haley Anderson. Trojans getting down the court quickly. Long three, Hosington, no good. Rebound, though, by number 34, Lauren Cindy, who draws the foul and will go to the line, shooting 2.
Yeah, and Kennedy has been wide open from three range as of late. They just can't hit their shots. I mean, if they could hit their shots, they could possibly be in the lead right now. I mean, they've had quite a few open looks from beyond the three-point range.
Cindy not able to hit her first free throw. About to take the second, and she gets all net with the second one. Trojans now up by 8, 2:48 left play here in the second quarter, and the Trojans starting to play full court press here as well. Long pass. Cougars able to still control the ball, and then ball knocked out of bounds by the Trojans. Ball will stay with the Cougars.
Yeah, and I like that call by Oak Ridge with their full court press. I think that's a good call because, I mean, that's going to help you keep your lead if you can force errant passes and create turnovers that could lead to points.
Quick inbound pass went to number 21, Erica Ng, who tried to get an easy layup. Not able to get it to go, though. Missed shot attempt there by Anderson. Rebound by number 33, Katie Lee. Driving inside is Erica Ng. Unable to get the basket, though. 3 missed shots in a row. We're seeing a lot of missed shots here in the past few minutes, save free throws. Both teams starting to get back into that defensive rhythm they had when the game first started, I think. Long two-point attempt from Lauren Cindy, but she knocks it through the basket. Oak Ridge with their first double-digit lead of the ball game, 20-10 over the Cougars.
Yeah, and Cindy, all she did right there was just use her height advantage. She just did a simple turnaround. Didn't even have to jump off the ground. She just fired from the elbow.
Lori Wong gets 2 points there. I'm not sure, Lucas, was there a foul called there? I didn't see what the call was.
I believe that's what the refs are huddling about.
Well, if the foul is called, Lori Wong would go to the line shooting one free throw to try and get a three-point play, unless they decide that the basket is no good. But it looks like the players are locking to the other side of the court. We may get an offensive foul here. Instead, we're going to get a technical foul called on Lauren Cindy. And Lynette Johnson will be taking the free shots for the Cougars. And if you are head coach Steve White right now, you've got to be pulling your hair out. You're up by 8, and then to give up a technical foul, which is essentially 2 shots and the ball to the Cougars here late in the first half, you've got to be disappointed.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't really see what happened there. But, I mean, technical foul, there's just no place for them. I mean, you really don't. It's unnecessary. You got to play more discipline than that.
Johnson to take the second foul shot. She hits it. Kennedy cuts the lead to 7, and that is Johnson's 5th point of the ball game.
Lynette Johnson's now starting to come into her own, stringing together a couple of baskets, and I think she should, wind up with her average here by the end of the night.
Short look from number 23, Sydney Owen. First time we've seen her in this ball game. Not able to get it to go, though. Rebound was for number 33, Katie Hosington. Trojans get the ball inside. Hosington not able to get it to go. Rebounded, though. And number 14 cleans the play up. Michelle Barkley, the sophomore forward for the Trojans. Able to get the Trojans back up by 9. We're under a minute to play here in the second quarter. Johnson driving. And 1. And Johnson will go to the line to try and complete the three-point play. And you just said it, Lucas. She's starting to come into her own here late in the first half. And that could be dangerous.
Yeah, and she really is the key offensive player here for Kennedy. And if they're going to get anything going, it needs to be fueled through her. And that was a great athletic play by her to go up and charge at the rim, take the foul, and also make the basket still.
Taking the free shot, and she completes the three-point play. That gets Kennedy back within 6. Trojans trying to move the ball fluidly, but they lose the ball. Ball goes out of bounds after a bad pass by Jenna Klein. So Kennedy will get the last shot attempt of the half. And we'll see what they decide to do with it here. They are in the bonus, Lucas, so maybe take the ball to the basket and see if you can draw the foul.
Yeah, I think that would be a good call. I mean, because no matter what, you're going to get your shots. And I think getting it to the rim is the safest bet. I'd say try to find a way to get Lynette Johnson a good look inside.
Long 3!
Wow.
Lori Wong from NBA distance. That is a huge play here at the end of the first half. And number 15 for the Trojans takes a last gasp effort. But Wong with the big 3 at the end of the first half to cut the lead to 3. And Oak Ridge will go into halftime leading by that margin, 22-19 over the Kennedy Cougars. And we will take a short break at halftime, and we will be back with you here for the start of the second half from Play On Sports Network.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow!
That's reassuring. Yeah, that's good.
I would like it if this game stayed close.
How do you think you're doing?
I don't think we did well.
Okay.
Really?
I
thought we did pretty
I don't
good.
think we did well at all. Or at least I know we can do better. I mean, we've done better at Granite Bay games. Just
That's
during the
because we
regular
knew
season.
who we were talking about. We don't know any of these people, that's why.
Well, I mean, and that's why it's like, just look at what you're working with, you know?
Yeah.
None of us know these teams,
Exactly.
you know, unless you follow them all the time. So you just go off of what you're watching.
So I think we're doing pretty good for what we know.
Speaking of what we know, do we have halftime stats?
I'll get them to you. It's just,
We have any shit for hours.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from
He
Dion.
took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just
Holy cow!
can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball. 12 seconds to go.
Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons wins. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take, and there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac-Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot. Kept alive. Back in one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stag.
Hancock to his immediate left. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Hancock on a counter, right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Helix. And behind Hancock, the field is littered with white jerseys on the turf.
Wow. Hancock not to be outdone by his fellow playmakers on offense. Put on a show on that short 12-yard touchdown run. Looked like he was down after 3 yards, just threw a defender on the ground.
As sophomore Chris Carter steps under center.
Basketball fans, welcome back to Power Balance Pavilion, where the Division I Sac-Joaquin Section Girls Basketball Championship is being played out between the Kennedy Cougars and the Oak Ridge Trojans. I'm Neil Martin, here with my analyst Lucas Carlson, and third quarter action is underway here. Story of the first half, Lucas, was excellent defense. It was a low-scoring affair. Oak Ridge only up by 3, 22-19 over the Cougars at halftime. 20 total turnovers, 9 by Kennedy, 11 by Oak Ridge in the first half. Kennedy shooting 27%, Oak Ridge not doing much better at 41%.
Yeah, and that's really the difference of the game. I mean, even though Oak Ridge had 2 more turnovers than Kennedy, they were still in the lead by 3 at the half, and that's as a result of their shooting percentage. They're making their shots more.
Lynette Johnson just able to get that long jump shot from 2-point range in there. Kennedy now only down by 4. Oak Ridge's number 3, number 15, Jen Hoffman just made a 3-pointer a couple seconds ago to start the half off. At the end of the first half also, Kennedy was able to gain a lot of momentum. They went on a 6-0 run at the end of the period to only be down by 3 at halftime, whereas they were down by 9 points, which was Oak Ridge's biggest lead of the game. How big do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that last 3 there by Lori Wong was huge. I mean, that really sparked up the crowd, and I think their teammates got a little fired up about that. She hit a pro 3, and as a result, I mean, that cut the lead to 3, and that really helped put them in a good position going into third quarter, but Oak Ridge has been showing up here in the third quarter.
6:36 left to play in the third, as Oak Ridge's number 25, Jenna Klein, is fouled. She will go to the line shooting 2. Lori Wong was called for the foul. That is her first of the ball game. Couple substitutes for the Trojans. Number 33, Katie Hosington, returns to the game, as does number 43, Haley Anderson. Klein makes her first free throw. Sets up to take the second, which she makes look easy, so Trojans back up by 6. Trojans playing full court press again. Not a very aggressive full court press, though, as you look on here. They're not real in the face of the Kennedy players, but they are still there.
Yeah, and it's more just to let them know that, you know, we're not going to let up on our defense. And also, you know, they were trying to create a little bit of a situation where they might have to do a cross-court pass, but, you know, also playing back so that if they did try to run at them, they would be able to, you know, get back on themselves.
Erica Foster going to the line to shoot 2. As Katie Hosington of the Oak Ridge Trojans is called for her second foul of the ball game. Foster misses the first free throw. Charity stripe could be critical to the Cougars either winning or losing this game. We've seen them at the charity stripe quite a bit, more so than the Trojans, but they have not been hitting as high a percentage of their free throws as the Trojans have been. Cougars playing full court press as well, but you can see that it's much more aggressive. They're definitely in the face of the Trojan players.
Yeah, and they need to be to try to create some turnovers, and it's somewhat been working, and that's really how they started getting back in the game, as they started their full court press, and that created a couple of turnovers, led to points, and now they're only down by 5, but I mean, if they want to get back in this game, they really got to keep up this full court press.
6 seconds left on the shot clock. Number 43 for the Trojans, driving. Haley Anderson gets the layup there as the shot clock was winding down. That was a pretty nice play there by Anderson, using her body and speed to drive that lane and get the easy layup. Lynette Johnson gives it inside to Greer, who is fouled on her way up, and she will go to the line shooting 2 again. We just saw her a couple seconds ago only make 1 of her 2 free throws. She's now 2 for 4 on the day.
Yeah, and after that foul, Katie Hoisington was not happy. She thought she got all ball there, but the ref saw otherwise, and as a result, she is now 3 fouls and is in a bit of foul trouble. So that's something to watch for here.
Cougars only 5 for 8 from the charity stripe right now. Like we mentioned, been struggling a little bit. Now 6 for 9 as Greer puts them both in the basket to cut Oak Ridge's lead to 5. 5.5 left to play here in the third quarter. And the Trojans immediately turn the ball over, so the Cougars a chance to cut the Trojans' lead to 1 possession. Johnson, the long 2-pointer. It looked like her foot was on the line, and it will be a 2.
Yeah, and that's her shot right there. I mean, she's not afraid to take that faraway jumper, and, you know, we've seen quite a few of those for her points here tonight.
Nearly a bad pass from Jackie Bateman, and then a missed shot. Cougars now with a chance to tie it or put themselves within 1. Johnson with a pull-up jumper, and the crowd calling for a foul. And the refs seem to somewhat make up for the missed foul call by calling traveling on the Trojans, so the Cougars will have the ball when we come back. Oak Ridge's head coach Steve White will take a timeout here with 4:54 left in the third quarter. We'll be back with you in just a couple moments here on Play On Sports Network.
KBCSports.com will be providing live audio coverage of the state regional basketball championships as well as the finals. March Madness comes to high school basketball in California on March 17th for the regional basketball championships. 4 venues of coverage around the state. Then the following weekend, March 23rd and 24th, it's the California State Basketball Championships. You can catch it all on KBCSports.com. Your home for high school sports.
Thank you, Lucas. Back with you at Power Balance Pavilion for a D1 championship matchup going on between the 4-seed Kennedy Cougars and the 6-seed Oak Ridge Trojans, and it is a close one here as we near the midway point of the third quarter. Cougars trying to get something going here, and they turn the ball over again. And the Trojans trying to get an easy 3 open look. Number 15, Jen Hoffman puts it in. That's her 14th point on the night. She is just having an excellent performance here.
Yeah, and she'll hit that every time if she's wide open. She's already hit, I think that's her second 3 tonight. And she's done very well from beyond the range and taking advantage of those open shots. And I think Kennedy really needs to get a bucket here, and get it to Lynette Johnson, who can take that mid-range J, and that's her shot. She's really realizing that she needs to make that, you know, if they're going to get back in this game, and so she's making that shot.
Getting back to Hoffman, she is the leading scorer in this game so far. 4 for 5 from 3-point range in this game. She is on fire from beyond the arc. 80%. Maybe look to Hoffman for a few more long-range shots here as the game progresses to put this game out of reach. Cougars trying to set a trap with that full-court press, aggressively attacking the ball here. Doesn't affect number 43, Haley Anderson of the Trojans, though, as she drives right to the basket and puts the Trojans back up by 8. Cougars looking for any kind of points here. 3! Jessica Lauderdale with the big answering basket there. And Kennedy needs to get some sort of momentum here as Oak Ridge seems to have everything going for it right now. And number 10 for the Trojans, Jackie Bateman, loses control of the ball there. Cougars, number 3, driving inside and is fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line, shooting 2. Lori Wong already with 5 points tonight. Chance to make it 7. Foul called on Jenna Klein of the Trojans. That's her second personal and Oak Ridge's 3rd team foul. Wong, a little bit left on the first attempt. Substitute coming in for the Trojans, number 21, Lindsay Honecker, coming in for number 25, Jenna Klein.
And something that stands out to me about Jen Hoffman, who is indeed the leading scorer for all teams in this game with 14 points. It's not necessarily her point total, but the fact that she has 0 fouls, playing a very disciplined defensive game.
She's a very clean, very high-scoring player, an excellent basketball player in all aspects of the game. Trojans inside, 15. Rainbow by Jen Hoffman does not go. Johnson gets the layup. What a move inside the paint. Takes a little two-step there and gets the layup to cut Oak Ridge's lead to 2. Nice play there by Johnson. And now the Cougars with a successful trap, forcing Oak Ridge's head coach, Steve White, to call a timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. Momentum starting to sway Kennedy's way. We've got a close one here as we are starting to get in the later stages of this game. We'll be back with you here in just a couple moments on the Play On Sports Network.
KBCSports.com and the Play On Sports Network showcase great high school games every week. And now you can access our content using multiple platforms. Follow us on Facebook, get the latest KBC and Play On news on Twitter, or catch our highlights in high definition on YouTube. All of our content can now link to your favorite social media site. Share all the high school action you see every week. Brought to you by your home for high school sports, KBCSports.com and Play On Sports.
Thank you, Lucas. Back at Power Balance Pavilion, here's the situation. Oak Ridge Trojans up on the Kennedy Cougars by 2 with 2:44 left in the third quarter. And the Trojans with the ball. 3 team fouls for the Trojans, 1 for the Cougars of Kennedy. Been a fairly clean game. And ball bouncing around wildly. Trojans able to get back control of it. Klein. Hoffman not able to get it to go, and that was an aggressive rebound there, to say the least. And Johnson, the long pull-up jumper to tie it, and this is the first time these teams have been tied since it was 0-0 at the beginning of this game, the Trojans having led all the way up to this point. And Kennedy with the momentum on their side right now, setting a trap. And able to, just playing excellent defense, ball stolen away. Amela Greer. The Cougars playing excellent defensive and offensive basketball right now, and they are starting to make a game out of this one. Energy is picking up here at Power Balance Pavilion as the momentum is shifting. Greer gets the layup in. The Kennedy Cougars have their first lead of the ball game. Nice shot there by Greer. Good body control and lift to get that layup. And Trojans number 14, Michelle Barkley, loses the control there, but the ball was off a Cougars player. So the ball will stay with the Trojans. 1:16 left to play here in the third.
Into the game for the Cougars, number 23, Sydney Owen.
Lucas, it looks like the Trojans are starting to lose their rhythm a little bit. What play do you think they should run here to get back into that offensive scheme that was working so well throughout this game?
Well, yeah, they're looking a little out of sync, but they need to set up some sort of pick or some sort of screen or something for Jen Hoffman to get her open. And there you see it.
Jen Hoffman, her 5th three-pointer of the game. She is now 5 for 6 beyond the arc. Really an inspired performance from the outside, and she's put her team back up by 1.
Yeah, not just that, but she created that shot for herself. She didn't even have a screen set for her. She had a nice jump back and just took the shot, and man, oh man, is she on fire from three-point range.
17 points now for Hoffman tonight. Another interesting statistic is that Jen Hoffman is 5 for 6 from 3, as we just mentioned. The team is 5 for 11. So Hoffman responsible for all of the Trojans' three-pointers so far in this game. Greer currently at the line, shooting 2, missed her first attempt. Now with a chance to tie it up at 37. 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. She does not get it, and she, as well as the Cougars as a whole, have been struggling from the charity stripe tonight. Hoffman is on fire! 6 for 7. She's now at 20 points and puts the Trojans back up by 4 and making a hard bid for player of the game at this stage. Johnson, no good. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter, and Hoffman nails 2 3-pointers near the end of the third quarter to put the Trojans back up by 4 going into the final period of play. We'll be back with you here to bring you the last remaining action in this D1 Girls Championship after a short message from my analyst, Lucas Carlson.
Need a highlight video for your athlete? Working to earn that 4-year scholarship? Then you want to contact kbcsports.com. We can provide recruiting video for any athlete in any sport. Not only that, but we give you your own recruiting page right on our website. No more mailing DVDs to colleges. Instead, email coaches the link to your personal page. For more information, including pricing, contact us at recruits@kbcsports.com or call us at 619-677-3246. Catch the best of Sac-Joaquin section basketball on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. You can watch a replay of today's games after each one concludes, plus check out game highlights, player of the game interviews, and more, or order a DVD or Blu-ray disc of the game. We're your home for basketball in Sacramento. CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv.
Thank you, Lucas. Well, the first quarter jitters have been shaken off slowly throughout this game. Kennedy especially only scoring 2 points in the first quarter, scored 17 points in both the second and third quarters to get themselves back into this game. They're now only down by 4, 36-40 to the Oak Ridge Trojans, and we have a good one here. And a good fourth quarter of action coming up. Bad pass inside from Jenna Klein, turns the ball over. And the Cougars with a chance here early in the fourth quarter to maybe make a statement here. Inside, Johnson swings it to Greer. Greer gets the lay-in to cut the lead to 1 possession.
Yeah, and no matter how well Oak Ridge is playing right now, Kennedy is just sticking with them, stringing together quite a few baskets, whether it be through the hands of Johnson, Greer, or anybody else, but mainly those two have been really feeding this offense right now.
And things have changed for the better for this Kennedy Cougars team. Ever since they started playing that full court press defense in the beginning of the second quarter, they've gotten a lot of turnovers that have led to a lot of points, and that is one of the main reasons they are in this game still, is because of their defense.
Yeah, and that, like, defense wins championships is what many people say, and both teams are putting that in effect tonight.
Unless your name is Jen Hoffman. Or in that case, Jenna Klein, who has also been doing fairly well from beyond the arc. And it seems like every time Kennedy pulls close to the Trojans, Hoffman or Klein able to hit a long one to put Oak Ridge back up by a sizable margin. Ball kicked by a Trojans player. Ball will stay with Cougars. 6:18 left to play in the fourth.
Yeah, and if Kennedy is going to come back at any moment, now would be the time, as Jen Hoffman is off the floor, who is Oak Ridge's main offensive weapon. They need to start scoring now.
Cougars driving in the middle. No good is the shot by Greer. That's now 2 in a row Greer's missed, maybe starting to go a little cold. Trojans moving the ball around the perimeter. Give and go was to Klein, but not able to get the shot to go. Rebound by Wong. NBA range 3. Wong hits the front iron. It's no good. And the Trojans, number 43, Haley Anderson with the rebound. Trojans with another chance to put themselves up by 3 possessions, and they do. Haley Anderson with the layup there to put the Trojans up by 7. And Dave Parsh, the head coach for the Cougars, will take a time out to collect his team's thoughts and get their heads back into this game. 5:14 left to play in the fourth quarter. We'll be back with you here on Play On Sports Network from Power Balance Pavilion in just a few moments.
You can watch highlights or a replay of today's game in our on-demand section, and you can also buy a DVD or Blu-ray of today's game right on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. Click on Buy DVD, and you can order today's game right now. Have a game that lasts a lifetime. Brought to you by CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. Looking for a great place to advertise your business while reaching the greater high school community? And you want to advertise on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. We have great rates for your business while giving you the opportunity to get your message out to a very important demographic. For more information, give us a call at 619-677-3246. 619-677-3246.
Thank you, Lucas. Back with you here at Power Balance Pavilion, where the Trojans have started to retake control of this game after having Kennedy draw the game within 2 points, and once tying the ball game, they have put themselves back up by 7. Kennedy will start with the ball here with 5:14 left in the fourth quarter. Wong controlling for the Cougars. Johnson to Lauderdale. Inside, Wong back out to Lauderdale. Lauderdale inside, losing control, and she is going to be called for the travel. A lot of contact there in the paint, Lucas. I thought there might have been a foul there.
Yeah, and I guess these refs saw something different because, I mean, there was a lot of bumping and grinding down there, but I guess no call.
Klein to Hoffman. Hoffman gets the ball pickpocketed away by Lauderdale. Lauderdale drives the basket. Misses the easy layup. That's got to be a frustrating one right there.
And those irons have been unforgiving all night to Kennedy.
Oh, and the ball rims in and out on that shot. Just unlucky. Jackie Bateman there on the inside. Nearly had an easy layup of her own. And Wong back with the control for the Cougars now. Cougars trying to pull the game back to within at least 2 possessions. Inside, Johnson throwing her body weight around, not able to get it. Ball's on the ground. Scrambling for it, Hoffman for the Trojans picks it up. Trojans setting up a play, wisely slowing the game down a bit. They're up by 7, trying to get a long 2 was Cindy. No good though. Wong driving all the way to the basket. Gets the layup. Nice speed shown there by Lauren Wong to take the ball coast to coast and get the layup. Kennedy now only down by 5. 3:16 left to play in the fourth. Easy layup by Cindy. That was an excellent offensive play there by the Trojans.
And Kennedy really needs to get back to their full court press. You know, they really need to put on their pressure on Oak Ridge because Oak Ridge is getting too many wide open shots.
Long 3, it's good! Clutch shot by number 33, Katie Lee for the Kennedy Cougars. If there was ever time for a big shot, that was the time. She cuts the lead to 4 with 2:48 to play in the fourth quarter. And the Kennedy Cougars will take their 3rd timeout. And we'll take a short break with you here from Power Balance Pavilion on Play On Sports Network.
Want to have your game broadcast live on the internet and be able to watch it again and again on demand while making money for your sports program? Want to give your students the opportunity to create their own broadcast for your school's athletic events? Then contact us at info@kbcsports.com. We offer season packages for schools, a full curriculum for your students, and an opportunity to raise up to $10,000 for your sports program. Again, that's info@kbcsports.com, or call us at 619-677-3246.
Back with you here at Power Balance Pavilion. We've got a good ending brewing between the Kennedy Cougars and the Oak Ridge Trojans, the number 4 and 6 seeds respectively. The Trojans, the lower seed of the two, up by 4 at the moment. Trojans to inbound. And Cougars back playing that full court press again. This is just what you wanted to see, Lucas. And Johnson steals the ball away and is then tackled by number 34, Lauren Cindy. Lauren Cindy was not going to allow the easy basket. She said, if I'm going down, I am taking you with me, and locked Johnson's arm and just pulled her down.
Yeah, and she looks a little shaken up after the play. She's grabbing her pinky, I believe. So we'll see about that.
Johnson misses the 3 attempt there. Cougars get their own rebound. Cougars with a chance to pull to within 1 possession. 3. It's good! Katie Lee, her second 3 in a row to pull Kennedy to within 1. Wow, clutch shooting here by Lee. 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter. And an errant pass by Jenna Klein. Ball goes back to the Cougars.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Kennedy needed to do. They're running their full court press again, and they're creating the turnovers, and as a result, they're down by 1 and have a chance to take the lead again here late in the game at a crucial moment.
Kennedy has only led once in this game. They led by 1 point midway through the 3rd quarter. A chance to take the lead here late once again. 3. It's nailed. Lauderdale this time. And Kennedy is starting to get hot from beyond the arc at the right time.
Yeah, and they're on some kind of magical run here. They're just hitting everything, and Oak Ridge is also turning the ball over, which is really helping Kennedy. So Oak Ridge also kind of shooting themselves in the foot here.
Missed shot by number 25, Jenna Klein. Ball out of bounds on Kennedy, though. Oak Ridge will keep the ball.
And it kind of seems like the roles have reversed here, where Kennedy is sinking their shots from beyond the arc, and now Oak Ridge is having a tough time just getting a basket.
They're having a tough time just getting the ball past mid-court. Trojans trying to find an opening, and they're called for traveling. And now a timeout going to be taken by head coach Steve White of the Oak Ridge Trojans, their 3rd timeout of the game. And we'll take a quick timeout here from Power Balance Pavilion as well. Don't go anywhere. We've got a good one going on here to decide the Division I Girls Basketball Championship.
KBCSports.com will be providing live audio coverage of the state regional basketball championships as well as the finals. March Madness comes to high school basketball in California on March 17th for the regional basketball championships. 4 venues of coverage around the state. Then the following weekend, March 23rd and 24th, it's the California State Basketball Championships. You can catch it all on KBCSports.com, your home for high school sports. KBCSports.com and the Play on Sports Network showcase great high school games every week. And now you can access our content using multiple platforms. Follow us on Facebook, get the latest KBC and Play On news on Twitter, or catch our highlights in high definition on YouTube. All of our content can now link to your favorite social media site. Share all the high school action you see every week. Brought to you by your home for high school sports, kbcsports.com and Play On Sports.
Back with you here at Power Balance Pavilion, where we've got a 2-point game and 59 seconds left to decide the Division I Girls Basketball Championship. Kennedy Cougars up by 2 on the Oak Ridge Trojans. Katie Lee trying to make something happen here. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Lee trying to run a play, and a bad pass! Trojans ball.
And that is huge for Oak Ridge. They really needed something, either a turnover or a missed shot. They just did not need Kennedy to score there. And now Oak Ridge in a position to score here, but they need to hit their shot.
If you're Kennedy's head coach, you got to be pulling your hair out. You do not want to turn the ball over like that at this point in the game, coming out of a timeout. Trojans, 19 seconds left. Pull-up jumper, no good. Ball is out of bounds off of Katie Lee of the Kennedy Cougars, though. Ball will stay with the Trojans.
Now, if you're Oak Ridge, do you try to take the shot at the last second, or do you try to get the quick 2 and tie it up so you don't have to, and if you miss it, you can try to get the rebound and go for the last second shot?
I don't know, but we'll find out here after the timeout. 14.9 seconds left here to decide the Division I Girls Basketball Championship in the Sac-Joaquin section. We'll be back with you here in just a moment on Play On Sports Network.
Need a highlight video for your athlete? Working to earn that 4-year scholarship? Then you want to contact kbcsports.com. We can provide recruiting video for any athlete in any sport. Not only that, but we give you your own recruiting page right on our website. No more mailing DVDs to colleges. Instead, email coaches the link to your personal page. For more information, including pricing, contact us at recruits@kbcsports.com or call us at 619-677-3246. That's 619-677-3246.
We're back with you here at Power Balance Pavilion. Here's the situation. The Kennedy Cougars and the Oak Ridge Trojans playing for the Division I Sac-Joaquin Section Girls Basketball Championship. Kennedy up by 2, 14.9 seconds left. It is Oak Ridge's ball. They would need a 2 to tie it or a 3 to take the lead. And it's their ball. Inbound pass coming. And it's a bad pass! Ball's on the floor, gotten by Oak Ridge. It's on the ground still. Ball out of bounds on Johnson. Ball will stay with the Trojans. A few tense moments there. The ball will stay with Oak Ridge. 8 seconds left on the clock now.
Yeah, and if you're Oak Ridge, you got to get the ball to Jen Hoffman here.
Absolutely. You have to get the ball to your best player. Jen Hoffman has been on fire from three-point range. She's 6 for 7 on the night, and she has 20 points. 8 seconds left here, Lucas. If Hoffman is being covered, which if you are Kennedy's head coach, you've got to assume that you're going to play tight coverage on her on defense, who would you go to instead, or what play would you run as an plan B?
Well, that's tough. I mean, I honestly don't know. I mean, really, most of their offense has been running through Jen Hoffman, and she kind of creates her own shots. Like earlier, I said they should set a screen for her, and then she goes and does it for herself. She does her jump back, and she sunk that 3. I mean, you could almost just give the ball to Jen and let her do her thing.
We'll see what happens here. Oak Ridge is now out of timeouts. Neither team is in the bonus in terms of fouls, so we should just see a straight-up bare-knuckle fight to the finish. Oak Ridge still down by 2 with 8 seconds left, and they will be inbounding the ball from half court. To inbound will be Haley Anderson, the junior guard for the Trojans. Anderson, long inbound pass. Hoffman tries to take the layup, but it is blocked by a Kennedy player out of bounds. And the ball will continue to stay with the Trojans. 6.3 seconds left in the game now.
And that was none other than Lynette Johnson who blocked that ball for Kennedy. I mean, who else?
The playmaker for the Cougars coming up big there. 16 points tonight. She has been having a monster game and is the leading scorer for the Cougars. So now Oak Ridge will be inbounding the ball from under their own basket. 6.3 seconds left. Now there's not a whole lot of time to go to an option B. So what would you think if you were coach about getting the ball to Hoffman, and then if she didn't have the shot, what would you have her do? What play is he drawing up and formulating in his mind right now, Lucas?
I think what he's going to do is try to get the ball to Jen on the outside three, right? And if they come up and try to cover her on that, I think she should try to take it to the rim, and if not, almost try for the foul, but also go for the shot. And the best case scenario is she gets the wide open three, or she could drive to the rim, make the two, and get the foul shot, and potentially win the game on a free throw.
6.3 on the clock. Oak Ridge inbounding from under their own hoop. They're down by 2. Oh my God, Hoffman fouled on the three-point shot. 5.1 left to play. She'll go to the line and shoot 3. She needs to make 2 for the tie, 3 for the win.
And that is huge by Kennedy. Huge mistake. You can't be doing that.
Hoffman misses the first one, so she must make both of her last 2 to tie this game up.
Or hope for a rebound on the last shot.
This is why you shoot free throws in practice every day. She makes the second. This is almost turning into something like a shootout in hockey. She makes one, she misses one, and the crowd on either side bursting up as a result.
And this is a huge pressure situation. And this is where you separate, in this situation, the girls from the ladies.
Well, Kennedy's head coach, Dave Parsh, may be icing the shooter here, taking a timeout before Hoffman can take her last free throw.
I thought timeouts for icing people was only in football, but here we see icing the shooter.
A perfect example of it. All right, here's the situation one more time. Oak Ridge down by 1 to Kennedy. And Jen Hoffman, the leading scorer with 21 points for the Oak Ridge Trojans, at the line with 1 shot to tie the ball game. Kennedy fans going wild, making as much noise as they can to try and get Hoffman to miss. Here's the shot. She sinks it! It's a tie game! 5.1 left. Kennedy inbounds the ball. Johnson driving. 2, 1. Long 3! No good! We're going to overtime! Clutch free throw shooting there by Jen Hoffman, and who else?
Definitely. And, you know, even if she missed that, if they had gotten the rebound, that would have been a good situation. But then again, you don't usually see the team that's shooting the free throws get the rebound. So it was good that she made that, sends it into overtime, and puts her team in a big position. They now, I believe, have the momentum going into overtime.
Absolutely right, Lucas. I would agree with you on every level of that statement. Hoffman now with 22 points after the made free throw. Fouls for each team will follow them into overtime. Neither team in the bonus currently. Kennedy has 2 team fouls. Oak Ridge has 5. And both teams will be awarded 1 more timeout than they had left at the end of the game to use during overtime. Both teams had used all of their timeouts, so both teams will start overtime with 1 timeout each.
And Neil, with the games that have been going on earlier here today and yesterday, late last night, Would you have expected that we would have an overtime game here?
Absolutely not. We've been seeing blowout after blowout all weekend long. Like we mentioned, this is the first championship game we have had without a number 1 seed involved. In every other game this weekend, a number 1 seed has won every championship game, and by a margin of, I believe the lowest we had was 12 points.
Yep.
Oak Ridge wins the tip-off and immediately draws a foul. It looks like number 43 for the Trojans, Haley Anderson, may have thrown a bit of an elbow there, but she is the one who is called as the victim of the foul on number 20, Jessica Lauderdale. That will be Lauderdale's second foul and Kennedy's third team foul this half. Hoffman. Offensive foul on the Trojans. It will be Kennedy ball.
There have been too many of those here tonight. It's just, there's no place for it, and it's just inexcusable. It really hurts your team, and it's just, discipline. Got to have it.
Kennedy ball, and Kennedy is now in the bonus. If they were to go to the free throw line, that could be a potentially huge factor here as we get later into this overtime period. 10 on the shot clock. Cougars need to have something happen. Johnson, long 3 range, no good. Rebound by number 33, Katie Hosington, and the Trojans with the control now. Still 49 apiece. Hoffman to Hosington. Back to Klein. Klein, long pass outside to Hoffman, almost lost the control. 7 seconds on the shot clock for the Trojans. Need to make something happen here. Klein outside, long 3 from number 43, Haley Anderson, and that is not really her kind of shot. Here's the ball out there, and it will be Kennedy ball. 2:54 here to play in overtime.
And now both teams have suddenly gone ice cold, as neither of them have hit a shot in the first minute of overtime.
Lee with the control for the Cougars. Cougars, good ball control here. Wong, NBA 3 distance, it's good! Lori Wong gets the first points of overtime, and that is a huge shot to put Kennedy up by 3, 52-49 on the Trojans, and that might get a little bit of momentum back for Kennedy after Hoffman made those clutch free throws at the end of regulation, and then Haley Anderson goes right back down the court and answers for the Trojans. 2 minutes to play here in overtime. Cougars setting up a play. Wong loses the handle. And the Trojans with a chance.
Yeah, and one thing I've been noticing about Oak Ridge is that they've been playing really loose on the three-point arc. I mean, they've been letting Lori Wong and others just get those wide-open shots, and that's why Kennedy has started hitting their threes all of a sudden, because they're getting a lot of wide-open shots. And in my opinion, Oak Ridge really needs to step up on their defense for the three.
A little bit of a delay in the action as there was a player on the Cougars who took an elbow to the face and was down there for a couple of moments.
It appears she's all right, though.
She's perfectly fine. She got up. She's still in the game. Lauderdale inbounds for Kennedy Cougars to restart the action. 1.5 minutes left here in this overtime period. Kennedy up by 1. 3. No good. That was Jessica Lauderdale who just missed that attempt. Long pass for the Trojans. Trojans have only hit 1 shot during this whole overtime period so far. Bad pass from the Trojans. Ball picked up by number 25 of the Trojans. That was Jenna Klein. And a jump ball is called. Possession arrow is with the Cougars. So Kennedy will get the ball on their own side of the court with 1:02 left in overtime.
Yeah, and Oak Ridge needs to do something quick, create a turnover or something here, as another 3 here would be deadly to them, but they just need to find some way that Kennedy won't score.
Three, no good. It's another jump ball, and the possession arrow goes to Oak Ridge. 41 seconds left. Oak Ridge needs a basket. Any points here will do. Cougars running their customary full court press. Trojans inching their way down the court here. 10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. 28 seconds left on the game clock. Hoffman inside, number 10, is fouled on the way up. That was Jackie Bateman. She's been relatively quiet all night. Drives to the hoop there and draws the foul with 20.5 seconds left in the game. So the shot clock will be off for the remainder of overtime. And Bateman will go to the line, shooting 2. And again, the Trojans going to have to rely on their clutch free throw shooting. Bateman, first attempt, is good. She sinks it, ties it up, 52 apiece. Subs coming in. And now Bateman, a chance to put the Trojans up by 1. Cannot do it. Rebound is to Hoffman. Hoffman, the long pull-up jumper. It's good! The Trojans are up by 2 with 12 seconds left. Amazing! The Trojans missed their second free throw attempt, which would have given them the lead. And then Hoffman, the leading scorer for the Trojans, able to get the rebound, pull-up jumper from just inside three-point range, and drills it. She now has 24 points on the night.
Yeah, and that missed free throw was a little bit of a blessing in disguise, as if she had made that, Kennedy could beat them with just a simple 2. But now if Kennedy wants to win on this possession, they have to shoot the 3.
12 seconds left.
Great job by the sophomore Jen Hoffman, though.
Absolutely. First, the clutch free throw to tie the game up at the end of regulation, and then there, potentially the game-winning shot, pending this next Kennedy possession and what should be the final possession of overtime. Kennedy also in the bonus, as you will recall, so maybe the strategy they want to go with is to drive the basket and try and draw a foul.
Yeah, but I think that's their last resort if they can't find a shot.
Well, as it was Oak Ridge in the losing position nearing the end of regulation, it is now Kennedy with the pressure on them as we get to the last 12 seconds of overtime. We have to assume this will be their final offensive possession. 10 seconds, driving down. 5. That's Wong. Tara does not get it. Oh, she nails it! She nails it!
No way.
Number 20.
Lynette Johnson.
Lynette Johnson, the playmaker, the leading scorer for the Cougars. Off the missed shot by Wong. Doesn't miss a beat. Gets the rebound, puts it back up as time expires to tie the game again. And we're going to double overtime.
And Kennedy and Oak Ridge have decided to take it upon themselves to make up for all the blowouts that we have seen here at Power Balance Pavilion.
Doing an incredibly good job so far. If we could, maybe we could get one of our assistants to look up the record for most overtimes in a Division I girls basketball championship game. Be an interesting statistic to see. Back with you here at Power Balance Pavilion. Both teams returning to the court after Lynette Johnson, the leading scorer for the Cougars, did what the leading scorer for the Trojans, Jen Hoffman, did at the end of regulation, tying the game up on a clutch shot. In Hoffman's case, it was a free throw to tie the game up, and we are headed to double overtime.
Neil, in Division I, the highest a game's ever gone was just overtime. However, in Division II, a game, the very first Division II championship in girls basketball, went to 4 overtimes.
All right, so the record for girls basketball championships, 4 overtimes in the Sac-Joaquin section. As it is now, we're in double overtime, but these teams looking very evenly matched here.
Who do you believe the momentum resides with now, Neil?
I believe that the momentum has swung so many times that it is impossible to know where it resides. I think that depending on the individual, you've got to be feeling different things right now. If you're Lynette Johnson, you're absolutely psyched. If you're somebody like Lori Wong or Jenna Klein, you're probably just tired as all get out. Cougars win the tip-off to start the second overtime. Johnson, the hero of the end of overtime, tries to take a pull-up jumper and just loses the handles and will turn the ball over. Oak Ridge's ball.
Great defensive play there by Katie Hoisington.
Traveling called on Jenna Klein as she ran into her own player. She ran into number 33, Katie Hoisington there as she was trying to drive the basket. And the big body of Hoisington did the defense for the Kennedy Cougars.
So Katie makes a great play on defense, then little mental mistake on offense.
This is looking reminiscent of the first overtime period. We did not have a single basket made in the first minute of the first overtime either. And there is now, as of this second, 3 minutes left in the second overtime as Lynette Johnson picks up an easy 2-point lay-in for the Kennedy Cougars.
Well, I will say this. Oak Ridge has really stepped up on their three-point defense. They're playing them very tight on the arc.
Oak Ridge is number 25. Jenna Claude driving inside. She drills it. Tied up at 56. 2.5 here to play. Another interesting thing, Lucas, during both of these overtime periods, no team has led by 2 possessions or more. It has been a 1-possession game all throughout. Lynette Johnson fouled on her way up. She will go to the line shooting 2. 2:17 left to play here in this double overtime period.
And who else would be at the line but Lynette Johnson?
Sinks the first one. Another clutch shot from Lynette Johnson. Couple subs coming in for what is probably an exhausted Kennedy Cougars team. And Johnson misses the second free throw. Kennedy nevertheless up by 1. Trojans moving the ball around the perimeter, trying to find an open shot inside of 2 minutes to play here in this double overtime period. Number 43.
A lot of contact down there. Surprised there's no foul call.
And then Wong loses the handle there and is called for traveling. So it will be the Trojans' ball. A couple of mistakes, and this is really just a sign of both teams being very fatigued here.
And that was the right call there by the ref. Kennedy fans arguing that there was a push, but the ref saw it right. Lori tried to go up for the ball, or tried to go up and shoot, and there was a defender in front of her, so she mistook her timing, and as a result fell back, and that's what happened.
Another factor to pay attention to, as we mentioned at the beginning of each overtime period, the coaches will get another timeout in addition to the amount they had left at the end of the previous overtime. So Oak Ridge now has 2 timeouts. Kennedy has 1. As we were talking, Jenna Klein with a nice 2-point lay-in to put the Trojans back up by 1, 58-57.
She had some pretty moves going up to the basket there.
Cougars. Johnson for 3. It's good! Lynette Johnson having the game of her life. 24 points now tonight after that 3-pointer to put the Cougars up by 2.
Wow.
That was a bad miss by the refs. That should have been backcourt violation. Clearly stepped over the line, and a foul called on Lynette Johnson. So the ball will stay with the Trojans, and they are now 1 foul away from being in the bonus along with the Cougars. And it's just a statement to how clean this game has been. It has taken until the second overtime for both of these teams to get in the bonus. 44.1 to play. Oak Ridge ball, they're down by 2. Inbound pass. Klein to Hoffman. Hoffman nearly loses the handle. Hoffman, 3, no good. Rebound by Klein. 34 seconds. And is called for traveling. It will be Kennedy's ball now. They're up by 2.
Could we see the first 2-possession lead of overtime?
If we did, that could possibly be the end for the Oak Ridge Trojans as it stands now. 32.4 seconds left on the clock, 30 on the shot clock, so a 2.4 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
And let's face it, Neil, the Oak Ridge Trojans need to get some sort of turnover or have Kennedy miss the shot.
An interesting strategy here by head coach White for the Trojans, having his team foul the Cougars on their side of the court. And since the Cougars are only in the bonus, they will have to go to the line shooting a 1-and-1.
I like that call. I like that call by Coach White. That is a very gutsy call, but I like it. Because, I mean, if she misses the first free throw, then you get off scot-free and you have a chance to rebound the ball. And if she does make the first one, I mean, you still have plenty of time to go back and get your own shot.
31.6 on the clock. First free throw in the air. It's good. Kennedy now up by 3. And now we could potentially see the first 2-possession lead of both overtime periods.
This could possibly turn into a free throw battle at the end here.
And Kennedy now up by the ever-important 4-point margin. 30 seconds left on the game clock. Trojans need to get down the court quickly here and get a basket. Hoffman nearly trapped. Inside pass. Outside. Klein. No good. 14 seconds left. It's the Cougars' ball. And a foul now called, and this game looks like it is going to go to the 4 seed Kennedy Cougars after 2 overtimes.
But, I mean, this was a well-fought game by both teams. Both teams should hold their heads high. I mean, they really came out and played and gave all the fans a great show. I mean, much credit due to both teams.
They both fought to the end and fought hard the whole game long.
And that's the beauty of sports. There can only be one winner.
And unfortunately, it is also
one loser.
What is ugly about sports.
Back into the game for the Trojans, number 21, Lindsay Honaker. Also returning, number 10, Jackie Bateman.
Ultimately, though, it looks like it is going to be Kennedy that comes out on top. Oak Ridge led the majority of this game before Kennedy came back late and took over the lead. Then Oak Ridge was able to tie it up. And then Kennedy was able to take back control of it here in the second overtime period. They're up by 4, Oak Ridge ball. 5.5 seconds to play, and barring one of the most incredible endings we may ever see, it looks like the Cougars are going to ultimately take this one down.
Yeah, and like we said, both teams deserve to win this, and
yeah,
that's the
absolutely
only thing about sports is that there can only be one winner. And right now, Kennedy has really just used their momentum in this second overtime period and used it to their effect, and that's why they have a 4-point lead and are looking at a win. They control their destiny.
Absolutely right. Cougars return to the court. The Trojans do have the ball. They'll be inbounding from their own side of the court. They're going to need to get down the court quickly and get some kind of points, then foul, and get down the court again quickly if they want to win this game. To inbound for the Trojans is number 10, Jackie Bateman.
Trojans ball.
Lugs a deep pass. Out of bounds on the Cougars. Ball was off of number 3, Lori Wong. 3.7 left on the clock. And a timeout going to be taken by Kennedy head coach Dave Parsh.
Yeah, Neil, I believe there's just too little time left on the clock, and I just think that it's going to be too much for Oak Ridge. I think this game's gone to Kennedy.
This game, I'm going to be sad to see it end.
Yeah.
After a week,
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, after a weekend of blowout after blowout, it was good to see a hard-fought game like this, and it's going to be a shame to see it end. Hopefully, maybe we can call on the basketball gods here and get a triple overtime period. Hoffman for 3. No good, and that will bring this one to an end. The Kennedy Cougars win in double overtime, 62-58 over the Oak Ridge Trojans, and player of the game easily has to go to number 24, Lynette Johnson. 24 points on the game. She scored the clutch 2-point layup at the end of overtime that I wasn't even sure was going to count because it was right as time expired to tie this game back up. And that allowed Kennedy to make it to double overtime and eventually come out with the victory. And they are now Division I girls basketball champions. That will do it for us here from Power Balance Pavilion. For Lucas Carlson, I'm Neil Martin, signing off on the Play On Sports Network.
And now